What's up, Twitch and YouTube? It's MurphyD55 coming to you with another episode of Around the Gjallarhorn, and we have with us today one of the newest partnered Twitch streamers, my guy GooNPLaToon, representing the Bills over there too. We're going to talk a little bit about Bills football. We're going to talk about his time in the music biz, and we're going to talk about, you know, what it's like to kind of build a community like his on Twitch and achieve success through hard work, determination. We're going to talk about all that stuff. But first and foremost, Goon, thank you so much for agreeing to take some time out of your busy schedule to be on the podcast, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I mean, thanks for having me, bro. I definitely appreciate it, bro. You know what I mean? And I always look for opportunities to kind of share my story, man. I feel like to some degree, knowing everything I've been through and everything I've been up against and what I've been able to accomplish, kind of feel like I kind of inspire people. Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't come from the best place, man. But that didn't stop me from spreading love and positivity, man. So anytime I get to link with people, connect with people, and anything in that manner, I'm always down. So
yeah,
thank you for having me, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man. And maybe we can start off talking about your kind of origins. What's home for you, like growing up? Where did you grow up?
Well, hold on 1 second. I grew up in California, and I live in Buffalo, New York now.
Yeah.
So there was quite a bit in between there. I grew up in California, and then I was a teenager in the 90s. And the area I'm from, I'm sure people know there's a lot of gangs. There's a lot of drugs, like meth and like stuff like that. Like just really bad shit, man. And when I was 18, I feel like I was just at a crossroads. It was either time to leave California and go somewhere else, because I wasn't going to change hanging out with the same people. You know what I mean? Gang members and people, it just wasn't a good scene. And me and my mom both felt like if I stayed in California, there's a good chance I was going to end up dead in prison, on drugs, whatever. And my aunt and uncle lived here in Buffalo, and I called my uncle and he said, "Hey, come out here and I can get you a job." He was a welder fabricator. He said, "I could teach, I could take you to work. I could get you a job. I could teach you how to weld." And I moved out here and he did all that.
That's incredible. Like, was it a big, so you were, on the verge of being an adult. I know 18 is not really, it's legally it's an adult, but a lot of us have a lot of growing up to do still at that age. What was the culture shock like going from like sunny California to Buffalo, like the snowed in capital of North America? It seems like what was it, a big change?
First and foremost, I graduated high school at 15. So at 18, I had already been working for a couple of years. I had been taking care of myself, with no help from anybody for quite a few years by that point. And that's part of the reason I had to get away, because some of the things I was doing to survive, and even with a high school diploma, it seemed like I couldn't find a job. I tried, like the only jobs I could get were like $5 an hour jobs working on a farm with the illegal immigrants and shit.
Yeah.
And that wasn't ideal. Like that work was just literally demoralizing, backbreaking work, and I didn't have a whole lot of choice, So when my uncle was like, "Hey, come out here, I'll get you a job," it seemed like in California, when I was done with high school, it seemed like you either needed experience or a further education than just high school. I couldn't even get a job at McDonald's. I don't know why. I don't know if I had, my record followed me or whatever, man. But kind of moving to Buffalo was a brand new start, man. And then culture shock moving here. It's an old city. It's a very old city with old buildings that were falling down and decrepit, and in California, everything that was old, they knocked it down and built something new. I feel like I went back in time like 70, 80 years. Just the eyesores, and it's crazy because all of the things I felt like were eyesores, the old abandoned buildings, all the, you know what I mean? All
Yeah.
those things that I looked at like, ooh, what do they keep that shit around for?
Yeah.
Those are the things that I find beautiful about this city now.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
we are
interesting. Yeah.
it is 22 years later, but now that I'm a Buffalonian, I understand why those things are here. You
Yeah.
know, it's so that we remember who we are. You know what I mean? With Bethlehem Steel. You know,
Yeah.
like back in the 60s and 70s, Buffalo, New York was one of the biggest manufacturers of steel in the United States.
Yeah.
Like bigger than, like, they have like a 3 mile long steel plant down by the water,
Yeah.
you know? So, you know, that and all the grain mills, because the access um, that we had to Lake Erie,
Yeah.
so many things went through here in Buffalo, and it just speaks about our rich history here, and our part that we played in America and American
Yeah.
being built and everything else. So
100%. And you know, it's a lot of these towns kind of get labeled as like, you know, like a Rust Belt thing. It's like, oh yeah, the boom was here a long time ago, and now the, you know, everything's moved out to either the East Coast or the West Coast, and you kind of feel like you get left behind sometimes. But I found like in cities like Buffalo, cities like Detroit, a lot of that, like you said, like that kind of, you know, the aging buildings and stuff, it adds a lot of character to it. Like I do find the architecture like very beautiful, like driving through Buffalo, which is kind of the first stop for me coming from Toronto if I ever want to get into the States, or crossing the Peace Bridge and heading down that way.
yeah, Buffalo, we have a lot of like really beautiful churches too, like
Yeah.
gigantic cathedral churches. Here in Lackawanna, it's about 1 mile from my house.
Yeah.
We have the Basilica,
Yeah.
and it was completely made out of I forgot what kind of stone, but
Yeah.
this church came over from Italy in boxes,
That's
and
crazy. Like that's wild.
there was a saint, or his name's Father Baker. He's actually
Yeah.
up for sainthood.
Oh
He's
yeah.
actually up for sainthood. You have to commit. You have to perform 2 miracles or something like that
Yeah. Yeah.
to be considered a saint. One of his miracles was actually building the church
Yeah.
from scratch, just in with the pieces, with no
Yeah.
blueprint.
That's incredible.
And
Wow.
if you ever seen this church, like it has, like it's like huge, and it's got like angels on top, like playing
Yeah.
flutes, and like it's
Yeah.
one of the most beautiful churches in the world. And
Yeah.
his second miracle was they wanted to build it somewhere else, and he said no. He had a vision to build it where they built it,
Yeah.
and then they actually ended up having like the land collapsed and caved in where the church was supposed to be built.
Oh wow. That's
Right.
crazy. So he picked the
And
right
he had a
spot.
vision to
Yeah.
not build it there and to build it somewhere else, and
Yeah.
that land piece of land actually ended up
Yeah.
having like a landfall and like collapsing.
Yeah.
And they were like, wow, imagine if we built our church there.
That's
You know?
wild, man. My sister moved to a town. You know, she's just a year younger than me. She moved to a town, Hamilton, Ontario, which is another big steel city. Like for us, like it's kind of like our. I guess it's all like you said, like access to the lake. You guys are close to Lake Erie. We're close to Lake Ontario. But man, like a lot of the visuals you're talking about, like Hamilton reminds me a lot of Buffalo, and it's a very like blue collar town. Like you know, working class people in there. They love their football, although it's Canadian football in Hamilton. They like the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Not exactly the same quality of what you guys get down there. But how did it? You know, how long when you moved into Buffalo did it take for you to kind of fall in love with the Buffalo Bills and buy into the Bills Mafia?
Okay, I've been a Buffalo Bills fan my entire life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was from California, but
Yeah.
my uncle that was from here, moved from Buffalo to California in the early '80s,
Yeah.
before I could remember. So as long as I can remember, he was already with my aunt, and he was a huge Bills fan.
Yeah.
And he was my favorite uncle. I spent a lot of time with him and my aunt and my cousins. Like, as a family, we spent a lot of time together, you know. And I used to root for the Bills with him. I actually have a picture. I shared it with my with my stream the other day in our Discord. It's a picture of me, my dad, my grandfather, and my great grandfather. It's 4 generations. And I'm actually wearing a Buffalo Bills shirt. I'm like 5 years old.
That's awesome.
You know,
That's so cool.
So I've always been a Bills fan, just because my uncle, you know, and then like the 4 Super Bowls in a row, You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Watching them with him and rooting for the Bills and being upset. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh God, I
You
can't
know,
imagine. Yeah.
being a Bills fan has not always been the best.
No, it's not easy, and I kind of, I remember when the Raptors first started. I was a big, basketball was kind of a growing thing in Canada, and the Raptors were terrible for my entire childhood. But I watched every single game, and when you finally do reach that pinnacle of winning a championship, you get that validation, and I feel like this iteration of the Bills team is like right on the cusp. Like really, it's like where do you think that this Bills unit is at? Like what do you think they need to improve on to finally beat the Chiefs and make it into the Super Bowl? That
Just
seems to
one
be the
comment real quick. My
yeah, yeah.
youngest son is the biggest Raptors fan like in
No
the world.
way. That's wild.
He's got Vince Carter and
Yeah.
who was the other? Tracy McGrady.
Oh yeah.
You know how I have jerseys
Yeah,
up in my
yeah. Oh
room?
yeah. You got a
My,
great
that's
collection.
my son has jerseys has those jerseys on his wall.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
incredible. Like
he's a huge Raptors fan, been his entire life.
yeah,
I'm a Warriors fan.
yeah, yeah. You
And
got it good.
we literally almost got in a fist fight when they were in the finals.
I mean, it was a
Like,
tough year with the injuries you guys had. It was kind of like what do you call it, a Mickey Mouse championship, but it still felt good. For us,
right.
like beating Philly with the buzzer beater was probably the moment that we all think of from that series, that crazy Kawhi shot that
Right.
bounced off the rim 14 times. But you guys at least had you got your fair share of championships out in Golden State and a generational talent out there in Steph Curry too. Who also like I
Right,
guess
right.
I actually funny thing is I had a guy that I used to work with back when I used to do like summer camp and stuff like when I was a teenager. He actually went to elementary school with Steph Curry when he was growing up in Toronto for a couple of years. So they played on a select team. So he's got a cool picture of Steph Curry at probably like I don't know 7 or 8 years old, like already draining threes.
Right. I mean, if you see Steph Curry in college, you look at him and you're like,
Yeah.
you don't see it. You don't see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, the
You know what I
Davidson.
mean?
I remember
But-
him. He came out of nowhere, and this guy was putting up like 40, 50 in the tournament. But he looked
Right.
scrawny as hell. It's like, no, there's no way this guy.
Scrawny. You were like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it just goes to show you what hard work can get you, man.
100%. Yeah. He's
Back to
perfectly
the question with the
Yeah,
Bills,
yeah.
man. I feel like the Bills learned a lot this year. Scott McDermott, I mean, him handling the situation with the whole 13 seconds,
Yeah.
that you have to learn from a situation like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are aware, Josh Allen actually had the single best playoff performance in NFL history this year.
Yeah.
Number one. If you Google
Yeah.
number one playoff performance by a quarterback in a single season, it's Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And if you look at the people below him, Joe Montana, Bart Starr, like all these guys that all won Super Bowls,
Yeah.
and you're like, this kid is at the top of the hill as far as performances in a single playoff. Played 2 games through nine touchdowns,
Yeah.
and didn't even get to go to his conference championship.
Yeah.
You know, when we lost that game, my heart broke, man. But not
Yeah.
for me, not for the fans,
Yeah.
not for anybody else, but for Josh Allen, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
no.
he didn't deserve to lose.
Yeah. Yeah. Most
did.
important position on the field, but still not enough to guarantee a win. Like he did everything humanly possible to win that game. You know,
His-
and I saw your
his
stream.
body-
Yeah. I was watching
his
your stream.
body
when you
on
were
the
watching game,
line. I mean, he laid it all out there. I mean, you can't when you're playing for a team and you see your quarterback playing like that, it's infectious.
Yeah.
And you'll do anything for that man. You know what I mean? And man, I almost get choked
Yeah.
up talking about it, man. Because
Yeah.
Josh is something special, man.
Yeah.
Like that kid just has just the will to win, and he doesn't almost like a dog. You know what I mean? That would
Yeah.
chew its own leg off to get away, or you know what I mean? Something
Yeah.
like that. Like he has that mentality of like whatever it takes, let's go out there and get it done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think for the Bills to take the next step, I think it's all about just maturing. You know what I mean? McDermott as a coach, Josh Allen as a quarterback. I mean, he's definitely come into his own. You know, I think everybody just has to learn from the mistakes that we've made over these past couple seasons
Yeah.
and put it all together next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
You know, I would like to see us get a nice big space eater in the middle to stop the run.
Yeah.
And I would like to see us get a little bit of O-line help, maybe some depth.
Yeah.
O linemen are always getting hurt. You
Yeah.
can never have too many linemen.
For sure.
And I think we need something on defense. I don't know if it's a safety
Yeah.
or like a coverage linebacker,
Yeah.
or if it's another corner, because the corners we have are actually pretty good. Teron Johnson, Levi Wallace, and
Yeah.
uh, Trey White. Like even at the beginning of last season, they were ranking the Bills secondary as the best in the league.
Yeah.
And that starts with Trey White and our two safeties and stuff. So I mean, we're not very far away. A lot of people talk about the Bills and like, oh, they need a running back. They need a running back. They need a running back. But what they don't know about Devin Singletary is he's actually the heart and soul of our team.
Yeah.
He really is. And if you ever watch the Bills play, he's the first one on the scene after every play, helping his players up.
Yeah.
He's on. They get tackled, and so if somebody else catches the ball, he's running after them at full speed, trying to either go make a block, whatever. He's always helping his teammates up every single play. If you watch the Bills, if he's on the field, he's the one helping his player up.
Yeah, which endears himself to the fan base, I'm sure.
Also, if you watch games like the Buccaneers game where it came down to it and we had to have clock management, if you watched him every play, he would run over to the player, get the ball, get it to the ref so they could respot it and everything else. And I told everybody, so you guys talk down to Devin Singletary, but you Cowboys fans, if you had a Devin Singletary, you would have had one more play in the playoffs against the Niners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just those things they're immeasurable. You could never replace somebody like that.
Yeah.
Zach Moss might be, and Matt Breida might be a little bit more talented of football players, but they don't have what Devin Singletary has, and that's why we call that kid Motor.
I like that.
Josh Allen loves him. Josh Allen will not let Devin Singletary go anywhere.
Yeah.
He's our running back.
Yeah, for sure. And you can't replace those kind of intangibles. It's something that can't necessarily be coached. It's either you got it or you don't. But like for a blue collar town, like those are the kind of people that are going to be fan favorites there. The guys who, just don't do the stuff that shows up on the stat sheet, but kind of, make those little plays that go unnoticed by people who aren't a fan of the team. And I was gonna say I was actually watching your stream because you were live streaming when the Chiefs Bills game went on, and I was in there when Josh Allen threw his touchdown, man, and I saw the whole gamut of emotions go through, and I'm sure like watching them grow up in the '90s, like watching those teams, it's the heartbreak is something that you've kind of become accustomed to, but it never gets easier, man. I saw how happy you were when Josh threw that touchdown, and then the exact opposite when they ended up going to overtime. Like it's tough,
right.
Man.
If I remember correctly, I looked at the camera and I said these exact words: if this is the greatest game of all time, it has to go to overtime.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not over. I did say that.
Yeah.
I said this game is not over. If it is going to go down as the greatest,
I
just didn't think it was going to be so anticlimactic in overtime.
It's tough, man. It's but what you said about Josh Allen being kind of like this special talent. Like I actually kind of feel like I was on the receiving end of one of his kind of coming out parties. I was it was the year after the Vikings had gone to the NFC Championship game, and we had the Bills on the schedule. I think we finished the year like around 500. It was a disappointing year, but I had the Bills circled on the calendar as an easy win that year. I remember we were selling our house at that time, and we had to be out of the house because people were looking at it. So I went to a pub to watch the game, and it was like I swear it was like 28-0 the first half against the Bills. Josh Allen was like hurdling guys I think he hurdled Anthony Barr. Like I realized I was like, this guy is actually like a physical freak, and there was nothing we could do to contain him, and we had a really good defense that year too. So I kind of feel like that season, I can't remember what year that would have been, but was kind of a breakout for him, and now he's obviously, I mean, top 5 for sure, argument for higher than that, I think, in the quarterbacks that are in the league right now. So
I don't really get into that. Who's the best quarterback? Yada yada. I kind of like to let my team talk. I'm not a big the Bill. You know what I mean? I am a Bills fan through and through. I stand by my Bills no matter what, dude. You know what I mean? But I'm not like a huge, oh, Josh Allen's the great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't really talk like that about my team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Josh is special, man. His will to win, his competitiveness, his just how he carries himself, man. You want to follow somebody like that, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to be teammates with somebody like that. You want to go to war with somebody like that.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
My uncle passed away last November, and he loved Josh Allen. He was the one that he's the reason I live in Buffalo, the reason I'm a Bills fan. And I remember when we drafted Josh Allen, my uncle loved him. My uncle was like, Richie, Josh Allen's the one, baby. I'm telling you, he's gonna bring a Super Bowl to Buffalo. And that's why football is so emotional for me. Like for the playoffs, I have a Bills hat that says number 12 on one side, and on the other side it says Uncle Leo. And I pull it out for like big games and playoffs and stuff like that. And then I actually have an ornament with my uncle on it, and it hangs on my mic boom.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So when I watch Bills games and stuff, man, he's definitely here with me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I think when they do win the Super Bowl, it's going to be really emotional for me. I think without a doubt that Josh Allen will win one.
Yeah, for sure. And it's I know it's like the nature of your guys' relationship incredibly special. Like just from him being able to be a huge influence in changing your life and getting you out of what was kind of a toxic, bad situation in Cali. And so very sorry for your loss, obviously, Goon. And there's something that takes me back, and I don't want to talk too much on it because Yimmy's not in here right now. But Yimmy said the same thing about Bills football and his relationship with his dad, that it's so tied in, the memories that you have.
Right.
It's special. So it's kind of a way of honoring that person. Every time you get suited up and get locked in for a game, it's a way of honoring that relationship, And I think that's what's cool about sports. Even my wife, she doesn't watch any sports, but she appreciates, the transcendent part of it that makes it special. It's more than just a game where we're keeping score. It's the memories you make along the way, kind of.
Right. There's huge emotional ties with me and football. For sure.
Absolutely. And I noticed, behind you there, you also have like a big collection of paraphernalia merchandise, like not just from Bill stuff, but like you're a big collector of like signed merchandise. How did you get into doing that? Like when did that start for you?
Oh, my cousin. If you've seen my cousin, I can actually share his TikTok with you. He has one room in his house, and he's got so it's like a 4-layer IKEA stand.
Yeah.
It's like the glass,
He's
got, I think he has like 10 of them, and they go around the room, and he's got a helmet from every team.
That's awesome.
Signed by somebody. And he was just so into stuff, and then I bought my first helmet I ever bought was Josh Allen.
Nice.
This is my first helmet I ever bought, and I bought it for my cousin. It's even dusty because I don't have it in a case or nothing. But this is my first helmet I bought. I bought it for my cousin. He had a bunch of Bills helmets. This one's signed by Josh Allen and John Brown.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I want to get Cole Beasley and Stephon Diggs added to it.
Yeah.
And then I went from this one, and then I bought Bo Jackson, and then Mike Vick, and I have six helmets right now. I actually sent one to Dally Gonzo.
I saw that. I remember I was going to bring that up too. That's crazy, man. That's a huge
I was
gesture.
like, you know what? Me and my son were sitting here, and my son is like a big thing as like with like sentimental stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I asked him, because all this stuff is going to end up his one day anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll never sell any of my Bills stuff, my football stuff. These are all things that I'm going to hand down to my kids when I go,
Yeah.
And I talked to him. I said, well, what do you think about giving Dally the Rams helmet? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, he's like a brother to me. He's a really good friend. He has been, since I started doing this, we kind of started around the same time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like I have like a special bond with those guys that started around the same time as me, and we kind of all started streaming for 5 to 10 people together, you know what I mean? Me, Dally, Ragusa.
Yeah, man.
Like me and Ragusa used to raid each other back and forth with the same 5 people.
Yeah, man, and it's and you're listing off three, and we talked about this in Discord before the stream started. Those are three guys. Like DK Nice put out a tweet the other day with like the most hours streamed in the directory, and all three of those guys you mentioned, well, you, Dally, Ragusa, three of the biggest grinders in the community. Like really, that's like, especially during the summer months when I'm off during the day as a teacher, and especially in August when I don't do summer school, like I always can count on one of those guys being on at all times, and a community kind of being there for you, no matter what the demonic hours are. So I got a lot of respect for those guys you just mentioned for sure. Dally being a California guy too, probably some similar experiences growing up as well out there.
Well, I did when I first started Hustle Hard Society. I asked both of them to be part of my group.
Yeah.
Ragusa said he wanted to do his own thing, which I respected.
Yeah.
And Dally said the same thing. Dally ended up being a council member.
Yeah. No, Dally's very much wants to do his own thing. Like, that's one thing I didn't even think that he would be somebody that we would reach out to, because I know he was so focused on doing it his own way. Kind of a similar work ethic to what you have, wanted to do it your own way,
Right. Yeah, I don't know if you know, but I was actually offered a spot on the council roster also.
Oh, man, it's a no-brainer to me. Like, of course we reach out, but I know you already got your thing going on there. It's
I looked at my wife, and I actually had a little bit of tears in my eyes because I love Fritzy, I love Findler. You know what I mean? I said, how do I tell him no?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, why are you gonna say no? And I told her, I said, because I have my own team, and none of us are partnered. You know what I mean? The council is kind of like the super team of like. You know what I mean? Like everybody in the council is like doing their thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I explained to Fritzy when I declined. I said, it's a great honor. You know what I mean? I said, to be honest with you, I already feel like you guys are all my family. Like, I'm kind of like an honorary member. You know what I mean? And I would accept. I said, but I need my guys to know that I'm clear cut with them. I'm not gonna make a group and then be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go join this super group of all these guys. And but don't worry, I'm still with you guys. I wanted it to remain clear cut to my people that I was riding with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that I chose them. That's what I wanted.
Hell out of that, man. And here's the thing too, with a lot of these stream teams, and stream teams again are something that I was very hesitant to become a part of in the first place, because I was like, I don't want there to be pressure. It's like, oh, you got to raid this guy, you got to do this on this day, and you got to move your schedule around. Like, bottom line, we're all out here trying to build our own channels, but at the same time we build friendships around the community of guys that we just like to watch, guys that we hang out with. Like, the one thing for me that was important, I was like, I want to be able to collaborate with whoever I want to, regardless of what stream team they're a part of. And the fact that we can sit down and have a podcast here, that's incredible to me. Like, I think if a stream team gets in the way of you spending time with and working with people that you enjoy working with, then that's it's not the purpose of it all. But
right.
Yeah. But
well, I mean, the one good thing in my situation and in my case, is I kind of get all the benefits of being a council member anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? The love. I mean, look how much Fritzy helped me out, dude, when I was on my partner push. Now, I didn't bring this up to Fritz to kind of, he would help me also.
Yeah.
But when he told me, hey, I'm going to start raiding you a lot, I'm going to start sending big raids your way.
Yeah.
The one day he was in Skimbo's chat, made Skimbo raid me with like 800, you know what I mean? He sent me a screenshot of him talking in the chat, like, raid Goonie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of get a lot of the benefits, you know what I mean?
For sure.
But last year, Fritzy was on his partner push when the golden ticket shit was going on.
Yeah.
And every day when he would go live, I would shout him out, and I would tell all my guys, hey, man, go support Fritzy, man. He needs, to get his viewership up. He's on the partner push, and I did that every day. And my chat would go cut in half. They'd go over there. When he was done off stream, they would come back. You know what I mean? I never had a problem with that. And when he told me, he said, hey, man, I'm going to start doing everything I can to help you get there, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I was like, well, man, you didn't know, but this is what I used to do.
Yeah.
I used to, send my guys over to your chat and, because I knew that you were in a position, I wasn't even close to partner then. My average was like 40 or 50, and I seen somebody else that had it's like we're both stuck in the snow in our fucking cars. Only one of us is going to get out. Why are we
Let's
both
go.
pushing? If I could just go over here, help you push your,
Yeah.
at least one of us gets out of the fucking snow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of like
Yeah.
one of them type deals,
And
you know.
that's
But
the Madden community right there. Is I think the majority of guys in the Madden community, when they see somebody who's getting close and they can kind of sense that somebody's right on the cusp of it, the community kind of rallies around them, to get them there. It's
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, when I was on the partner push, I would go look at my viewer list,
yeah,
and there's so many of you guys that would just have a lurk on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And some people might look at it like, oh, this guy didn't even say hi to me. He didn't
Yeah.
even say, hey, Goon, how you doing?
yeah,
But you got to think of, hey, man, he thought of you every fucking day, and at least
Yeah.
and put a tab up for you.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, the Madden community is very small, but our
Yeah.
percentage of partner streamers is crazy.
yeah, absolutely, man.
Like,
a lot
literally.
of people going purple lately too. Like Father Jock, a guy that I've just started hanging out with, got partnered the other day. I know my guy Go Geezy and Luch are both partner pushing right now, getting super close. Like it's exciting stuff, man. I think
Yimmy just got his.
Yimmy just got his check mark, which was like super well deserved. He was one of the first
Look.
streamers that I ever watched. Outside of the Madden Live guys when I first found Twitch. So
You
it's
know,
really
look
cool to
at
see.
look at all these Buffalo partnered streamers though. You got Jock,
Bro, yeah, man.
you got me, you got CJ Sauce, you got
Yeah.
Buffalo K, Retro Yimmy.
Buffalo's probably the highest amount of partnered streamers per, actually not even just partner streamers, the highest amount of streamers per capita, man. I don't know what it is in the water in Buffalo, but like so many of my favorite streamers come from there, man. It's got to be something in the water.
Bro, for 4 or 5 months we can't go fucking outside, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah, man. I know. That's it. That makes sense. You got a captive audience down there. But man, no, I another thing I wanted to ask you about, and I was kind of fortunate enough to pop into your stream last night. And,
One thing real
go for it.
quick. One thing real quick. Here in Buffalo, we have 4 seasons like everybody else does. But our 4 seasons are different. Our 4 seasons are winter, almost winter, still winter, and construction.
Yeah. Let's go.
So
That
we
sounds
find inside activities like sitting at the bar, and this is what I do instead of sitting at the bar.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you make it your own bar over here sometimes. I've seen the Irish car bomb streams too. You go crazy sometimes, which is a
Well,
good
that
time.
last one, those were Irish RV nukes. Those weren't even Irish car bombs.
Shit.
Them
Okay,
things
explain
were-
to me. Can you explain to me the recipe? What's in the Irish RV nuke? I got to hear this.
No, we just call them that because an Irish car bomb is half of a Guinness beer,
Yeah.
half a shot of Bailey's, and half a shot of Jameson.
Yeah.
I was doing an entire 16-ounce beer with a whole shot of Jameson and a whole shot of Bailey's.
Yeah.
And I was destroyed by the end of the first quarter. Well, I expected the Patriots to come and play better. So I said at the beginning, I'm like, I will do a car bomb every time we score a touchdown.
Oh God, I love
Or we get a turnover, and we played the absolutely perfect game, and I got blitzed out of my mind, and
Oh man.
yeah,
You're
the
flirting
rest
with
is
danger
history,
there.
man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I there's a clip of me, and everybody's in my stream telling me that there's Twitch staff in my chat and to watch what I'm doing, and there's a clip, we have it in my in my stream. It's me saying fuck Twitch. And I said these exact words. I said fuck Twitch. If I can't enjoy myself and watch the Bills whoop that ass, then I don't want to be partnered. And I said, you know what? I don't. Then I go further and I say, you know what? Fuck Twitch. I don't need to be partnered. I don't need Twitch to love me because the people love me.
I love
Fuck
that,
you.
man.
I was just drunk and just rambling on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remembered that I said that, and I have that going through the back of my mind while my second application is in. Like, Rich, you
that's
fucked this
awesome,
shit up,
man.
right? You know you fucked up, right?
Yeah,
You know?
on your own terms, guys. That's something that most people wouldn't do, but that's actually like a legendary moment, man. And some of your community will always remember now.
To be honest, I don't. There's when you people think that the application is like in depth. It isn't. They ask you if you have a YouTube or a Twitter.
Yep.
They ask like 3 questions, and then they give you a space at the bottom that says comments.
Yeah.
The first time I put, I put something well written. The second time, on God, swear on everything I love, I wrote this. Application number 2. I'm still here. I'm still grinding. still working, working
Yeah.
towards my goals. And
Yeah.
I went as far to say, I'm going to come back again and again and again. I said, I know that I might not get partnered this time and I might not get partnered next time, but I just want you guys to know I will be back again and again and
Yeah.
again until that check mark is mine.
I love
I
that,
didn't
man.
feel like a letter where I was like, oh, well, I hope that one day maybe
Yeah.
I can be a partnered streamer,
Yeah.
and I hope and I hope. No, I put
Representing
it on the
the
line.
Amazon Twitch brand. Yeah, all that stuff. No.
I put it on the line. I said, I work hard. I'm here every day. I'm not going to stop. I'll be back until I accomplish what I came to accomplish. And I just,
Yeah.
let them know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no bullshit. There was no, I wasn't blowing sunshine up their skirt. None of
Yeah.
that.
100%, man. I respect that. And it's, obviously they were willing to overlook that clip. If there were staffers in there, either it appealed to them or they were willing to overlook it because they know that you bring something valuable to the platform, man. And I think it was about damn time that you got that partner check mark because you've been grinding like hours like nobody else. You've been building the community like nobody else. Definitely about time that you got it, man. And I'm sure your community is thrilled about that too. One thing I wanted to ask you about, and last night I was able to pop into your stream and I noticed, I was like, oh damn, Goon's in the music directory. I was like, what's going on over here? So I popped in and you were doing a live studio session, recording a verse, recording a song, with some of your guys. So can you talk to me a little bit about how you got into the music industry and like what that journey was like for you?
Wow, that's kind of a long, long story, man.
Oh, bro, I bet.
I'm 41 years old.
Yeah.
And this story actually starts when I was 10.
Yeah.
I was a great writer as a child.
Yeah.
What was it? My fifth grade year, I actually won $5,000 from like some like association.
Yeah.
I wrote an essay about the Civil War, and it was like
That's
like
incredible.
family members from like Civil War vets or something like that, descendants, and they
Yeah.
made this thing. I was a really good writer, and I went through a lot of things as a kid that probably that kid shouldn't have to go through. And I started writing music. Like
Yeah.
I started, I learned how to write poetry at a very young age, and I liked it. I loved writing poetry, and
Yeah.
it kind of went from writing poetry to writing music. And the first music I remember writing probably wasn't like the most uplifting music. It was just me talking about all the stuff I was going through.
Yeah.
And what it became was an avenue for me to, I guess, get some of the things off my chest, when I didn't know how else to work through those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to make music and to write songs about my hardships in life really helped me get through them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, so I was like 10 and I started writing music. And then when I was like 13, my older cousin was like a huge hip hop head. Like he was always knew about the new underground shit. He was really like, knew everything that was on the, like the up and up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I let him, and I asked him to listen to my raps, and he was like astonished.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, where is this coming from? And I was like, I do this in my room. I've been writing music for, 3 years now. And I showed him my books and notepads and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's crazy because I have such a big, deep voice now.
Yeah.
I was still a squeaker back then. He's like, yo, your lyrics
Yeah.
are fire, bro. But you got to work on your voice, man. You got to deepen up your voice or something. Because I was only 13, so I was still a boy.
Oh, man. Yeah, exactly.
So I always freestyled and like made songs and stuff. Never really recorded. Fast forward 1998, I moved to Buffalo, and my girlfriend from California moved out here with me, and we ended up having 2 kids.
Yeah.
Well, when I moved out here, I went right to work as a welder fabricator. Worked with my uncle, learned how to weld, read blueprints, all that stuff. I built bridges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I did that until I was 28, and then I got hurt at work. And like I hurt my back, but I hurt my back so bad that like my right leg wasn't working.
Oh,
like I had to like
yeah.
drag it along, like it was like not functioning properly because I had some pinched nerves in my back, and I ended up going out of work. Long story short, came upon some hard times. Um, Workman's comp wasn't paying me. They were
Yeah.
gypping me. My
Yeah.
my kid's mother and the kids ended up leaving me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all I ever, coming from a broken home, all I ever wanted was that family life. And I wanted my
Yeah.
kids to have a mom and a dad. And I wanted
Yeah.
us to be a family. So when I knew that wasn't going to happen, it killed me inside.
Yeah. Yeah. I can
And
imagine.
and I turned to music. I turned to music, man.
Yeah.
Once again, I used it as an avenue to express my feelings and get things that were going on inside of my heart and in my mind. I was getting them out.
Yeah.
And my roommate heard some of the stuff I was writing, and he's like, "Bro," he's like, "I got a microphone and some recording equipment that my girlfriend bought me last year, and I never used it. It's in my closet."
Yeah.
He's like, "I don't know how to hook it up, but if we can figure it out, bro, we can start recording your music."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Dope, man, dope." So we got all the stuff out, and we hooked it up, and we didn't know what we were doing, so the recordings weren't the best,
Yeah.
but like the content and what I was talking about was top notch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then one of my friends is like, "Oh, I know a guy with a studio," and this is like 2008. So it's not like it's 2022 now. Like everybody has studios. There's studios that are accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
But back in 2008, you had to know somebody. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You had to have an in with somebody to be able to get into a studio. And I got in with a guy, and we recorded my first album in 2008. And I
Yeah.
sold copies, and people loved it.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yo, we want more, we want more." So
Yeah.
I started pursuing it. I started doing shows. I
Yeah.
started putting out music all the time. Started making music videos.
Yeah.
And then, in 2013, I got a call from a promoter asking me if I wanted to go on tour with Bizarre from D12.
Wild. Wow.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was he said he needed a solo act that could travel solo. They provided bodyguards,
Yeah.
um, um, travel, at
Yeah.
hotel, everything.
Yeah.
All I had to do was just come out and perform. I was able
Yeah.
to sell merch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did make some money from each show. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was a 26 state tour, 3 months long. And
Yeah.
I left Buffalo, and we went all the way up through the North states, all the way out to California, and then
Yeah.
circled back around the bottom. And then
Yeah.
we came up through like the Midwest into
Yep.
Ohio, and our last stop was Buffalo, New York.
Wow. That's incredible.
So
That's
I got to go on tour for 3 months, and everybody followed me on,
yeah.
following my journeys on
Yeah.
Facebook, because that's what was popular at the
Oh
time,
yeah.
Facebook. So everybody was, like connected, and then I got to come home and perform at the second biggest venue in
Yeah.
Buffalo, which is the Town Ballroom.
Yeah.
The only venue that I haven't performed at
Yeah.
is the hockey arena.
Yeah.
Which holds 15,000, twenty
Yeah.
thousand people. You know what I mean? So I got to go on this big tour, and everybody was hyped and excited for me, and then I got to come home for the
Yeah.
last show, and it was like a homecoming show.
Yeah. That's special,
Yeah,
man. That's like the stars aligning, It's like that's the kind of stuff that makes you think that there's a higher power looking out there when whoever was organizing the tour dates that they made it happen like that. That's kind of wild.
right, right. So yeah, I got to go on this great tour, have all this fun, and actually being a touring artist, or anybody that has to travel for their job like that, it's tough. It is
Yeah.
so tough. Like I've never so mentally and physically draining to do something like that. Like I could never do that now.
Yeah.
I With my older body,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. I don't. I mean, I would have to be like super comforted. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like this was hardcore shit. Like we were a city a night. We might travel
Yeah.
8 hours and then go to the hotel, check in, get
Yeah.
ready, and go do our show. Like it was
Yeah.
grinding. Like it was
Yeah.
tough. I think I'm way too soft for that now.
Oh
You
man,
know.
now you can maybe do it on your own terms. Like now you're still like you talked about yesterday. You were kind of an entertainer at the heart of it all, right? Like you were an entertainer before you got on Twitch, and now you're finding ways to entertain people with what works for you. And obviously, like, the Twitch thing is going incredibly well, but you're still staying active in the studio too. Like, what's your, so are you working on collaborative stuff? Is it solo work, or do you have guys that you kind of work with?
I kind of feel like, even though I can still get in the studio, write a song, record it, give direction, help out. I'm still able, and might be making some of my best music ever.
Yeah.
Right now, I still feel like I'm on the tail end of my career and my music career.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's fine. I don't want to be one of them delusional people that they'll think they got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they don't. You know what I mean? I want to, so what I want to do is I want to kind of get things going for my nephews and my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And see them succeed. To me right now, that would mean more to me to watch them grow and watch them have success than for me to have the success myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My one nephew's 18 years old. He just graduated high school. He's the manager of the studio.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of grown men that go there. And the way that we do things is we take customers and we $50 an hour for studio time. We do package deals and stuff like that. And those paying customers is what pays the bills and keeps the studio open. Yeah. So we have a studio, we have a studio, storefront, everything, you know what I mean? And that's how we pay for it. So he does a lot of the work as far as like the engineering and being there to take care of customers and recording and everything else. And at 18, I was nowhere near as far as he is with the music.
Yeah.
Not only is he an engineer and a producer, but he also makes his own music. Yeah. And I just want to do my part and help them out. I have a following with music. I have a couple thousand subs on my YouTube and stuff like that. Here in the town, I'm well known. You know what I mean? When people know I'm making music, they want to hear it type stuff. Yeah. And I kind of want to be like, all right, here I am making music, but I want to do it to like kind of introduce my family, which is called Guap Nation. So I'm gonna be putting out a project. It's probably gonna take me maybe 2 months from now to get it complete, but it's gonna be a compilation. It's gonna be me, and then every song I'm gonna feature as many of my music family members as I can. On the track, and kind of be like, how like Biggie Smalls had like the Junior Mafia.
Little C's in them. Yeah.
Right. That's what I want to do. I want to be like, all right, well, here I am, but check these dudes out. These dudes are dope. You know what I mean? Like
that's a big part of like the rap game is making sure that your inner circle is kind of taken care of and providing the platform. Whoever makes it's kind of like the metaphor you used earlier, talking about the partner pushing. Getting the people out of the snow. It's like whoever makes it out first. You're making sure that the guys that came up with you are taken care of, and obviously that it's family as well makes the ties even stronger. But I will say, man, I know you're saying you're feeling like you might be kind of at the tail end of the music career for yourself as an artist. But like from the verse that I heard you drop yesterday and like the flow and everything, you sound like you got a lot more left in the tank. So hopefully it's something you always kind of continue to engage with, even if you're just making some guest appearances, from time to time, because you still got it, man.
Thanks, man. I definitely appreciate that, man.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that too, because it's always whenever somebody kind of puts it out there that they do music, I know there's probably a lot of pressure to not come down on them. You never want to crush somebody's spirits. But I was actually like, I had that song stuck in my head last night. I was like, damn, like the hook and everything, like the beat was in my head. I was like, this is like good quality stuff. So, and you said you want to debut that on your stream. Are you streaming later on today at some point, or are you taking time off?
I'm gonna stream me watching the game, nice. Reactions and stuff. Can't stream the game. I don't know if you know, but I got a 3-day ban for that one time.
Oh, gee, I know, man. People don't even try now, but back when we all got started, I know there were a few guys that always tried to show even like 30 minutes of gameplay. They catch you, man. I don't know how, but Twitch is on that.
Right, it's something with the algorithm or something like that.
But the sport is the sports directory, is that something you've kind of dabbled in at all, like on Twitch? Like, do you go into I know there's like the sports accelerator program. Is that something that you have any interest in doing?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about, to
Oh
be
man,
honest.
apparently like like rather than going in the Madden directory, there's like Twitch is looking to make a big push to somehow engage with sports, like doing all these side casts and stuff. You already are kind of doing it. I've kind of dabbled with the idea too, but you got to be able to hold down. Do you think Twitch will ever get to the point where they let us show certain games and broadcast them? Like, it would be so much better if you could just have the game up and your camera there. Like,
So the way that it works, the reasoning behind it, from what I understand, is like the same reason they don't let a bar show pay-per-view,
yeah,
because then you have 150 people all in one place watching it together, and it. So the NFL has, when they sell ad space for commercials.
yeah,
Okay, they sit down with the client and they say, okay, so if you want to run an ad during our football game, there's this, there's gonna be, we average on a Sunday, 10 million viewers, yada yada.
yeah,
Now, if you have a bunch of streamers, let's say, I'm streaming a game and I have 1,000 people in my stream. That's 1,000 people that's
yeah,
being only counted as one.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So there isn't 1,000 people, because it doesn't go into their numbers. There is 1,000 more people watching through
yeah,
my stream, but it's only going into the system as one. It's something like that,
yeah. The
where
ratings game.
you have to watch it on where they want it to be watched, so that they
Yeah,
can benefit from it.
yeah. So I'm
There's no benefit, and I don't think the NFL sees any way that they can benefit from
yeah.
letting Twitch streamers or streamers stream live sporting events.
Yeah,
You know, it's
it's a good point. And like I think like maybe for MLB, because it's a 162 game season, and each game is not, there's only 16 games for a team in the NFL, so each one is really a big event viewership wise. I know Facebook's done stuff where they'll get the rights to a couple games and they'll stream it. The quality is crap when Facebook does it, to be honest. They get these commentators that are like, they're not like on par with the guys that do it on the major networks, but I don't know. It's something interesting. Like I think you do a good job of doing your sidecast just while you're playing Madden and have the game on in the background. I think it would be cool if Twitch kind of. Holy shit, we got a big time bomb from Filthiest Canadian in the chat. Jeez Louise.
yeah, that's kind of funny. Filthiest Canadian is actually the one who helped me get started streaming, bro.
No way. Can you tell me that story?
Yeah.
How did you link up with Filthiest Canadian in the first place? And Filthiest,
Okay,
thank you, my dude. Holy shit.
so I used to play squads, and Filthiest Canadian was one of the guys I played squads with. And
Yeah.
when I started playing squads before I knew what Twitch was. And
Yeah.
then I found Twitch while I was like hanging out with the squads community on Xbox, those guys. And
Yeah.
I when COVID hit, I wasn't really able to get out and do shows with my music, you know. And
Yeah.
I'm just an entertainer at heart.
Yeah.
I love streaming. I love entertaining people. I love, you know what I mean? It's just something that I've ever since I was a kid. They thought I was disruptive. No, I was at school entertaining.
Yeah.
The teacher and principal just didn't find it entertaining, but everybody else
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, you had that charisma even back in the day.
Right. Right. So, yeah, man, just the fact that I was an entertainer, man, you know what I mean? I needed something. So when I couldn't do shows anymore, I was like, well, fuck, dude, maybe I'll be a streamer. Maybe I'll try my hand at streaming. So I
Yeah.
bought, I didn't even know what to buy. I bought a laptop, I bought a webcam, I bought a mic, and I had it sitting in my closet for about 5-6 months before I
Yeah.
ever fired it up. So last September I started streaming. I
Right.
bought this stuff in like February,
Yeah, yeah.
and it all just sat in the boxes. I didn't use any of it. It just sat there.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, I'm gonna stream one day. I'm gonna stream one day. I'm gonna stream one day.
Yeah.
And one day I was like, hey man, let's hook all this shit up. And I am completely computer illiterate. Not only am I
Yeah.
completely computer illiterate, but this setting up a stream was super challenging for me.
Oh
I had
yeah.
no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
And Filthiest Canadian had already set up his stream and had helped quite a few people set up theirs as well.
Yeah.
And he offered to help me, you know. And it took us actually like an entire day in Xbox chat with me screaming and yelling and not being able to figure stuff out because like I was completely computer illiterate, dude. Yeah. Like the only thing I knew how to do on a computer was like look up like stuff on YouTube.
Oh, bro, we all have to rely on it. I don't know, like I'm only 33, but like in Twitch years, that's pretty old, you know. Like, and I always have to rely on the younger guys. Like when I was getting started, same thing. When I was doing just the PS4 camera, I was like, okay, this is simple enough. Even then, I still needed help. Now, once you get a PC factored in it and multiple cameras and all this other crap, it's like, but you know, like I will say one thing, like it's forced me to learn computers a little bit more. You know, like I've learned a lot more just from trying to get this Twitch stream going than I probably have technology-wise in my entire life, just in the last couple of years.
Right. I mean, I'm actually to the point where I'm using like Photoshop and like and stuff like that. I can edit film. I can make flyers. I can do like stuff that I never thought I could do.
Yeah,
you know?
Man.
And I used to just use the excuses of I don't know how. Yeah. I don't know how. But that's just being lazy, man. Because anything that you want to know how to do, you can learn how to do it on the internet.
100%, man. And you know, this is reminding me of a time where I put out a tweet. I think I put out a tweet and I was like, okay, what settings should I put on my what settings should I put on my Blue Yeti mic? I took a picture of the back of it and I was hoping somebody, you know, one of the guys with knowledge would tell me. And Dubby actually commented on it. He's like, or you could just Google it and actually learn something. And I was like, shit, you know what? You're right. Like you got to kind of go out and seek those answers yourself. And you know, we do rely on other community members, but like anything is possible. You just got to put your mind to it and, like you said, not be lazy. Like, you know, that's the fun part of streaming and continuing to grow. You know, but Goon, you've, you know, one of the other things I wanted to talk to you about, you know, is future goals like you have as a streamer. Like, I know the partner push was obviously that first big, you know, pinnacle that you wanted to reach, but where do you see your channel going, you know, years down the road, like going forward?
To be honest, man, I kind of feel like this is going to be my gig until I'm like too old to do it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, the kids they already call me Grandpa Goon. You know what I mean? Like, how much older can I get? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I definitely feel like this is going to be my gig, man. As far as goals, man, just connecting with people, man. You know, I am an entertainer. I do love making music. I do love entertaining people, making people smile, laugh, all that stuff, man. And I think at the heart of it all, the entertainer in me comes from my gift from God. I think I have a great gift. I have the gift of being able to speak right to people's hearts, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that is a very special gift to have, man, when you can make connections with people. You know what I mean? And I do have the ability through my music, through just life wisdom, stuff like that, the ability to speak to people's hearts, man.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And you know, so I think just my goals would be, number one, just continue what I'm doing, building relationships, you know what I mean, with my peers, with my community and stuff like that. And after that, secondly, man, I would like to get my guys on my team partnered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm the kind of guy who, you know, I'm the first partner streamer from our group.
Yeah.
I don't think that I'm the last, for sure. I kind of want to climb the mountain and then send a line down and pull the next guy up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I want to build my team and continue to and build my community, man, and just be there for people, man. You know?
For sure. And talk to me like a little bit about some of the guys that you got with you on Hustle Hard Society. Like, who are some of the streamers that are, you know, that you're collaborating with, trying to help out now that you got this partner platform that you're on?
Okay. Well, it started out with me and BG Gangster. He really hot for a little while, man. And I don't. He's got some things going on with life. I think he's working. He doesn't really have a lot of time. But that me and him are the ones who put it together.
Yeah.
And then I added Young Phoenix, Two Stepped, and Citrus Kush.
Yeah.
So it was just us, the original five. You know, and then I've added Crazy Puerto Rican, Squidward, Nico Cinco,
Yeah.
Nico Cinco's kind of like affiliated with everybody. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
He's that social butterfly type.
Council,
You know what I mean?
SCG, Hustle Hard Society. Yeah, man. He's a social butterfly for sure. He's a good dude.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I got Jedi 14K
Yeah.
on and somebody asked me the other day. They're like, "How do I grind for Hustle Hard Society?
Yeah.
Like, what are the qualifications?" And I'm like, to be honest, like the first thing, you just have to be my boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the first qualification. Is like you got to be somebody that rocks with me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I was very careful about who I picked. Just guys who I felt would be like that Josh Allen type. Like
Yeah.
you know, put whatever
sure.
it takes to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not that we're in competition. It's
Yeah.
not Hustle Hard Society against the council or
Yeah.
whatever other groups there are. We're all friends. We're all family at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Of course.
This was just, I wanted to start something of my own, man. I'm not a follower. I'm a leader.
Yeah.
And not saying that the guys that are in the council are, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just felt like I like my underdog team. You know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely, man. 100%.
I'm glad and I'm proud to be a part of Hustle Hard Society and have the guys on my team that I have, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of this. There is definitely, and I can say this too as somebody who was originally very skeptical of stream teams and not really knowing what role exactly they play, because bottom line, we're all our own individual entities, and there's probably people that you talk to outside of the group every day too, like guys on this Twitch community that I communicate with every day that are not necessarily part of the council, but it's there's a lot of people that are out there looking for handouts, and that's not the kind of people that you want to have on board. It's guys who are going to want to do their own thing, grow their own channel, and still be a good team player and a good community member and somebody that you want to work with. And I feel like you've got a really good roster of guys that, they each have their own unique thing that they bring to the table. And hopefully, like you said, some of those guys are going to be turning purple, in the coming year. And
Right.
You're leading from the front, man, for sure.
I mean, just because people aren't Hustle Hard Society doesn't mean I'm not going to support them.
Oh, of
like
course.
I asked Goat Geezy the day after the council asked him to join.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, I just joined the council yesterday. He's like, I didn't even get announced yet. Yada yada.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. No hard feelings, bro. I still love you. You're still my little bro.
Yeah.
And when I get off, I do always look for my Hustle Hard guys, where they, Citrus Kush, Jedi. Young Phoenix, I always want to raid them, but lately I've been raiding Goat Geezy.
Yeah, man.
Because it's not about team, it's about family first, bro. You know what I mean? And
sure.
that's my family, dude.
Yeah.
So did I send 60, 70 people to Geezy instead of one of my guys? Yeah, but none of my guys are at that point where it's where it's that critical. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
you'll know, your numbers will tell you when you're ready to really make that push.
Almost like, there's a line of cars. These guys are all on my team in their cars, but the car that's probably going to get out of the snow first is Geezy. So let's just all go over here and push him out, and then we can all just get out as, in single file as,
exactly. 100%.
So yeah, man, that's just the mentality I try to have, man. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And you mentioned to me, kind of in Discord and kind of in your stream last night as well, like, you do take on this role of being kind of a mentor. You're not just out there, delivering coin making advice or Madden gameplay advice. You're out there like dropping actual knowledge on people. And there's a lot of it's a young community. Like Twitch in general is a very young community. So, talk to you a little bit about like, what kind of, if you were talking to a young up and coming streamer, what advice would you want to give to them?
On my chain so I can pay for coffee.
Hold on one second.
No worries, Goon. No worries, man. If you have to hop off, all good too, my dude.
I can't even look at my. I'm in an interview right now. Okay. Jesus, dude.
Hey, no worries, man. If you need to hop off too, it's totally all good.
I'm good. We're good. We're good, man. We're good.
Okay, beautiful, man. But yeah, I was gonna say basically, like, you take on this mentorship role. If there's a young buck out there, you know, who's trying to make their own way on this Twitch thing, like what advice would you give to, you know, a young streamer who's just getting started, and hoping to have success, you know, not the same success as you, but, you know, get on that path?
Oh, the same success as me. Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
You know, anything, and not just, you know, work towards a Twitch partnership, but anything.
Yeah.
Anything in this world worth having is worth working for.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
100%.
You know, and I just have that kind of mentality, man. But if somebody wanted advice on how to build a community and how to have success as a streamer, first of all, I feel like you have to be genuine.
Yeah.
First and foremost. I feel like that's the biggest quality that you need to be a successful streamer. And I feel like it's the most overlooked. I think people think about their content and they think about their setup and their you know what I mean, their layout and their this and their coin stack and everything else. And I don't think any of that is as important as being a genuine person. You know, if you look at, you know, some of the guys who do have a lot of success, DK Nice, for example, very, very genuine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Makes you feel at home. DK, when I started streaming, DK's stream was the #1 stream that I looked at and said, I want my stream to be like that. And what I mean by that is when you go to DK's stream, you almost feel like you're at his house hanging out with him.
Man. I agree,
you know
with
what I mean?
100%.
And that's because he's a genuine person. You know what I mean? And he's just himself, treats everybody kindly, you know what I mean? And that is his best quality, you know? So I would say definitely be genuine, be yourself. You know, some people might not like you. There's a lot of people that don't like me, you know what I mean? But they're far outnumbered by the ones that do, you know what I mean? You're good enough. You're good enough. People will like you for who you are. Don't try to be something you're not. Second of all, be active. And when I say be active, I mean be active in your stream, but not only that, active in the community around you.
Yeah.
Because people, me included, I'm sure that you can say this as well.
Yeah.
When you get off stream, you go around and you look, and if there's somebody streaming that's been in your stream, or you've ran into them being supportive in other people's streams and stuff like that, you're gonna be like, all right, well, let me go check them out.
Yeah.
You know, it's not really advertisement, but the more you get your name out there and the more people see your name, you know, the further it goes for you. And that's how you get people to come in. I would definitely say be the support that you want to receive also.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm a huge supporter of my peers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because I know what support means to me. You know, and I'm not the kind of guy that's just going to soak up support and not kick back. You know what I mean? It's just not me. You know? So be supportive of those around you in the same ways that you want support.
Yeah.
You know, and that's about it, man. Just be genuine, be supportive, you know, and you know, I think the rest of the stuff kind of falls in line after that.
For sure, man.
You know what I mean? You take care of the things that really mean something, and all the little stuff comes with it. You know, all the little things will be easy.
Exactly. The rest is all superficial. It's you got to have the good bones, the good foundation, and then the rest is all
right. Absolutely. And another piece of advice I would give is if you're wanting to start streaming or you're an up and coming streamer, don't be afraid to stay with Madden. Yeah. Because this time last year I had 1,000 followers. Last January I had 1,000 followers. I'm a 7.3K right now.
Wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the beginning of Madden 22, I was really struggling for viewers because I was a newer streamer still.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't stream at the beginning of Madden 20.
Yeah.
No, I didn't stream at the beginning of Madden 21. I didn't start until like the middle of September.
Yeah.
So Madden 22 was my first day one of Madden. So I was definitely, I felt like like a lost child in New York City with all the big ass buildings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. There's Titans
Skimbo,
out there.
Skimbo with 1,000, W with 1,000, fucking DK with 600, and here I am with 13 viewers.
Yeah.
You know, and that was tough for me because in the golden ticket days, I was averaging 50, 60.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We would get up into the hundreds, but we were averaging 50 or 60. And I thought I was going to carry that momentum.
Yeah.
But in those months where all the other streamers were playing, were taking a break, they were playing MLB The Show, I stayed with Madden. Yeah. And a lot of the people that are riding with me now, I picked them up at the end of last year. Yeah. You don't want to be like, I'm going to start streaming Madden at the beginning of Madden 23. No, don't wait. You got to start now. You got to start now. It's so hard as a new streamer when the new game drops because people want to go to their trusted streamers for advice, for gameplay, you know, to the big fish. Exactly. The beginning of the year is not a good time for small streamers. Yeah. The beginning, when Madden drops, you want to be one of them guys out there that are already established. The non-established streamers, it's tough.
It's a great piece of advice that you're giving because honestly, like, you know, that's I kind of started streaming. It would have been similar situation to you. I probably started maybe, I guess, a half a year before you. I started, like, you know, in the tail end of Madden 20. So Madden 21 was my first year through, and same thing. I was having a lot of great success end of Madden 20, and then you go into the first year, you think, oh man, new game coming out. That means a lot of new viewers, but yeah, the viewers are looking for those established guys. So it's
right,
you know,
absolutely, and you don't think about that until it happens to you.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and now I knew what to expect this year going forward because I was like, you know, I know that it's tough. I'm still growing, but you know, the time for the small streamers is really like, you know, you want to be a June goon or a July guy. Like that's the time to really kind of build your following when everybody else is hitting dingers. You got to stick with the game and. You know, it's definitely a good piece of advice for sure.
Well, now me, I had some success at the end of last year, but one person that absolutely rode that wave to pretty much stardom is Ragusa.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So at the beginning of last year, me and Ragusa, you know, we'd have like between 0 and 10 viewers at all times. We didn't even hit. We were nowhere near 100 subs. Yeah. You know what I mean? And at the end of the year, we both stuck with Madden when other people didn't. And Ragusa had his whole situation kind of went up into flames because of bot wars. You know what I mean? People seen him on bot wars, seen he was a character, and they wanted to support and get to know him more. The Dirty Nightman. Exactly. Yeah. But more than that, it was his timing. You know what I mean? There was Madden streamers dropping off, and there was a lot of people out there, Madden purists, that didn't want to watch MLB. They didn't want to watch something else. They wanted to watch Madden. Yeah. And Ragusa was there, and Ragusa absolutely capitalized on it. And that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? See a wave coming, jump on it.
100%, you know? Man. 100%. You gotta adapt and react to what's going on around you for sure. And you did a great job of that, and obviously achieved that goal that so many of us are working towards. And kudos to you, Goon, for that. Man, I feel like you've really given a really good glimpse into who you are as a person. You know, your journey coming from the West Coast to the Snow Belt, and you know, your time in the music industry. Like I feel like we've gotten a good glimpse of a lot of the things that kind of make you, you know, special and you know, a figure that everybody wants to know more about in this community. You know, I appreciate you taking the time, but I did want to, you know, ask you one last question before I let you go and get ready for the Super Bowl festivities today. Who you got in the game tonight? Who you think's winning?
I have the Bengals. I have the Bengals. It is the year of the Tiger, and for those of y'all who didn't know, Chinese everybody says, how are you picking the Bengals? The Rams, their roster, their defense, their D-line, their roster, their this and that. I said it coming into the playoffs that the Bengals were absolutely the hottest team at the beginning of the playoffs. And even before. I would say for the last 2 months, the Bengals have been the hottest team in the NFL. Yeah. Yeah. I like that a lot. I like the fact that they're hot. I like the fact that they believe in each other and everything else. Beyond that, my deciding factor of why I believe the Bengals are going to win tonight is because the LA Rams are living at home in the comfort of their own homes with their wives, with their children. They're comfortable. They're getting pussy every night from their wife, their girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
The Bengals are holed up in a fucking hotel room with nobody but each other.
Yeah.
2,000 miles away from home.
Yeah.
They're uncomfortable and they're not. Yeah. And I think that factor, the fact that they are in that situation while the Rams, it's almost to the point where like UFC fighters, their coaches don't let them fuck for like 2 weeks before a fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that because fucking just does something to you that just, you know, it makes you relax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're not fucking, you want to fucking crush, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just feel like the Bengals are just, they're in the spot. I think they're in the right spot. You know, I feel like the Rams are at home. They're LA's team. They're yada yada.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Bengals being the underdog and the guys band of men that are just believe in each other. I think they're gonna get it done.
I think so too, man. I'm pulling for the Bengals. I know a lot of people in the chat. It's a big underdog story. You know, a lot of people like Joe Burr, Joe Shiesty. He's got the swagger. I saw him, man. He looks hungry. I saw him for the Comeback Player of the Year award. I saw him walk up there, say thank you, and leave the award on the podium because he's going to get that Lombardi trophy in his mind. So, you know, either way, I'm hoping we get a great game of football tonight. And, man, I hope you have a great time streaming it. And I'll definitely be popping in later on into your stream to see your reaction live to it, man. But, Goon, thank you so much, man, for coming on Around the Gjallarhorn.
Hey,
you're a legend.
Just one more thing, man.
Yeah,
I just wanted to thank you personally, bro, because as far as back as I can remember, Murph, looking at my viewer list, you've been in there
I appreciate that,
a lot, man, a lot. And don't think that it doesn't go unnoticed. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
And I know I don't have as much time as I would like to get around the neighborhood and stuff. You know, that's why like last year when Golden Tickets were out, I came through and I hit you with the Justin Jefferson and you know just some giveaways in your chat because I definitely do appreciate you. And there's so many people that do things just like that for me, Murphy. It does get hard to acknowledge everybody. But while we're here in front of your stream and stuff, I do want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, man, for always being supportive of you know, my endeavors and my, you know, what I got going on, man. You know, with everything that you got going on with work and your own stream and everything else, you still found time to put up a alert for me, and it's very appreciated, man. Don't think that I didn't notice, man.
Bro, I appreciate that, man, and I'll always be pulling for you, man. You ever need anything, because it's a big favor to me coming on the podcast and you know, being an open book and telling us your story. You ever need anything from me, man, just DMs are always open. I'd love to work on some more stuff with you going forward, my dude. Appreciate you. Have a great great day. Enjoy the Super Bowl, my dude.